I wanted to call your attention to some news they're saying that's coming out of Moscow. Well, then we have the headline from Newsweek talking about how Russians are peacefully protesting, calling for Putin to quit. Let's check this out. They're saying several hundred Russians lined up in central Moscow under the gaze of riot police to hand over handwritten appeals asking for President Vladimir Putin to quit, as similar protests took place in other cities. George Soros done struck again, or what? Saturday's protest in the capital there, they're saying it was called, quote, "We're sick of him," end quote, was supposedly, allegedly, organized by the Open Russia movement, founded by Kremlin critic Mikhail Khodorkovsky. Mikhail Khodorkovsky, once Russia's richest man, he was freed by Putin in 2013 after spending a decade in jail for fraud. Oh my goodness. Well, a charge Khodorkovsky said was politically motivated. One of the hundreds of these protesters, shepherded behind metal barriers by police before handing over their petitions one by one. Anna, who was a 16-year-old Moscow schoolgirl, said she hoped Putin would get the message and not run again. Nothing positive has happened in our country on his watch, and I have the sense that things are getting worse, and that the main problem is the fact that those in power are the same. She told this to Reuters. Her preference for president was opposition politician Alexei Navalny, who spent 15 days in jail last month after helping organize the biggest anti-government protests since 2012, which ended with over 1,000 arrests.
Facing charges of organizing an unsanctioned rally and disobeying police orders, the activist was sentenced to 15 days in jail and fined $350. Inside the court, he was defiant.
I think yesterday's events have shown that there is quite a large number of voters in Russia who support the program of a candidate who speaks for the fight against corruption. These people demand political representation, and I strive to be the political representative for those people, and that's why I have the right to run for office.
The rally in Moscow on Sunday was the largest anti-corruption protest seen in Russia for 5 years. Thousands of Russians from across the country took to the streets. Many called for Prime Minister Dmitry Medvedev to resign after Navalny posted this video on YouTube. It detailed the private wealth amassed by Medvedev since he came to power. Villas, yachts, chalets and a vineyard. It's been watched almost 13 million times. For many Russians who can't afford to make ends meet, details of Medvedev's wealth were too much to ignore. The size of the protest crowd seemed to take the Kremlin by surprise. Along with Navalny, hundreds were rounded up and detained. The government says they did not secure the proper permits for demonstrating.
The Kremlin respects people's civil stance and their right to voice their opinion. We can't express the same respect to those who consciously misled the people and who consciously did it yesterday and provoked illegal actions.
The EU is calling for the immediate release of all those detained and for the government to respect their freedom of expression and human rights. In the face of further protests like these, analysts say the Russian government will have to decide whether to placate protesters or arrest them, and will probably combine the two.
Stop the press. Stop the motherfucking press. What the, pardon my French, does the EU have to do with this? Is there an EU arm? Smells a whole lot like NATO to me. No, this is just kind of a smart-ass comment I'm going to make. But seriously, I wonder if John McCain was actually waiting in the wings.
Слово має сенатор Кріс Мерфі.
I am a Republican. Senator Murphy is a Democrat. We are here together speaking for the American people in solidarity with you. We are here because your peaceful process and peaceful protest is inspiring your country and inspiring the world. Ukraine will make Europe better, and Europe will make Ukraine better. People of Ukraine, this is your moment. The free world is with you. America is with you. I am with you.
Who told John McCain to go over there and say anything? A Reuters reporter counted at least 30 police buses and coaches in the area, packed with hundreds of riot police. Videos posted by Russian media showed police in riot gear detaining protesters in St. Petersburg, where activists reported over 100 arrests. There were no official confirmation of the arrests. So, this article goes on to say that police said 250 people had showed up in Moscow. The Interfax news agency reported, while Maria Bardanova, an Open Russia activist, said at least 500 people had handed over a petition. But Irina Glushkova, 64, standing in the same line as a schoolgirl, said she and many others simply didn't agree with how Putin governed. I'm sick of the situation, she said. I'm the same age as Putin, and I don't think I'm less intelligent than him, but my opinion is not taken into account at all. By God, I think that woman just channeled Angela Merkel. Authorities have stepped up pressure on Open Russia in recent days. The General Prosecutor's Office ruled on Wednesday that the activity of Open Russia's, get this, British arm was undesirable and accused it and other organizations of trying to discredit the election. What? I mean, supposedly Russian organization called Open Russia has a British arm. Does it have a Russian arm? I think not. And on Thursday, police searched the Moscow offices of Open Russia's Russian branch. Activists said they confiscated 100,000 blank appeal forms, which the foundation had hoped to hand out to people, encouraging them to call for Putin to quit. They had 100,000 of those things left over. No shit, Sherlock. That was for the British arm of Open Russia. On Friday, REN TV, a Russian TV channel, broadcast a documentary about Open Russia activists, some of whom it accused of having criminal records, of being drug addicts, and of cultivating close links with the U.S. government. The U.S. government arm.
If there's objection, you are achieving the objectives of Vladimir Putin. You're achieving the objectives of trying to dismember this small country that has already been the subject of attempted coup. I have no idea why anyone would object to this, except that I will say, if they object, they are now carrying out the desires and ambitions of Vladimir Putin, and I do not say that lightly.
I ask unanimous consent that at a time to be determined by the majority leader in consultation with the Democratic leader of the Senate proceed to executive session to consider calendar number 1, Montenegro Treaty Document 11-114.
The senator from Kentucky.
I object.
Objection is heard.
Well, activists dismissed the program as a cheap stunt designed to discredit them, with at least one noting that REN TV had somehow obtained video footage stored in his mobile phone. And this is what I've been able to dig up regarding someone's cell phone being hacked and video obtained.
A mind-boggling video that just got released by the hacker group Cyberbercut, allegedly retrieved from a media device of a member of U.S. Senator John McCain's staff in Ukraine, shows what seems to be one of the earliest beheading videos of ISIS Jihad John, being faked in a movie studio by a crew that looks anything but terrorists.
This has been Meet the People Perspectives. Break this news.